everybody probably thought, oh, I'll just watch it later. They try to see if the classroom's ready, or move their classroom.
Right, I'll have to do that too.
Right. Should we get started?
We have 2 grabbing their Chromebooks and they should be back
Oh, okay,
here soon
okay,
because
perfect.
they're in the building.
Okay.
So this one we can use our Chromebook
Yes,
on?
this one you can use your Chromebooks, and actually I would love for you to participate and play along, because then you can see what it looks like from a student's perspective.
Right, because I told her, oh no, you don't need your Chromebook. She said it doesn't work with that Chromebook.
So for Classflow stuff, Chromebooks are beautiful, work great. For Active Inspire, you need like a Windows or a Mac device to use it. And then everything works on the panel. You hardwire in or you use it right directly from the panel. And I actually could run this session from the panel if I wanted to, which I might, because then I'm not sitting.
She
Beautiful.
has instructions to sign in up there.
Hi.
Oh, I didn't sign into the last one.
No, you don't need to. If you registered for this already ahead of time, so then don't worry about it. I already have your
I was like,
email.
oh.
I only have this up here just because in case some teachers wanted to come at the last minute and they didn't register, and then they didn't get you didn't get a chance to register ahead of time. So only if you didn't register ahead of time. So you don't need to sign in if you don't want to. My handwriting. This is why I did much better with middle school. Look at how bad that looks. Okay. So yeah, you don't need to go to this bit.ly link if you don't want to. If you already registered ahead of time, you already have your email. So, okay. For this session, what we're going to do is we're going to totally focus on Classflow. We'll talk about what Classflow is. Am I standing too close? Or you're good? Okay. I'm going to have you join my class, my open class. You can have rostered classes or you can have open classes, and I'll talk about what that is in a minute. So you can kind of see from a student's perspective what it looks like from on the kiddo's end. And then later I'm doing another session on Classflow beginners where it's more of what it looks like from the teacher's standpoint. So then we're going to create a Classflow account today as well. I'll give you some time to create a Classflow account. And then I'll give you a chance to kind of check out the marketplace, which is basically free stuff, right? We love free stuff. So you can get some ready-made lessons for you already. And then we'll do a quick overview, just kind of give you a really quick tour of what Classflow looks like. And then we'll do some question and answer and even have some time to practice maybe. And then if we have time, we'll practice uploading some existing content, because why reinvent the wheel, right? Just upload existing lessons that you already have and be able to send them to your kids. Okay, so I'll go ahead and go to my next slide here. So a lot of you already kind of met me the last time, but for those of you who weren't in this session before, my name is Sheila Wolsker. I'm the education consultant with Promethean. I cover Michigan, Indiana, and Ohio, so those are my 3 states. So I actually have been gone this whole week. I haven't even been home, doing all over Ohio this week. So I've been doing a lot of demos and today some trainings. So I live near Detroit, and this is my family: Justin, my husband, my 3 kids, Dylan, Devin, and Delaney, and then my cute fat cat, Lucy. So a little bit about me. I am a former teacher, like I said. In the session before, I taught for 10 years, primarily 2nd grade, and then I spent a significant time in middle school teaching language arts and social studies. So that's a little bit about me. Classflow is totally web-based. So this is going to be a great environment for you on your Chromebooks as a teacher. You can take it home, create lessons, upload stuff, work from home if you want to. Really great for a remote hybrid situation. Are you guys still in a hybrid situation? Are you responsible for both students in person and outside?
Yeah.
Okay, next year?
Like,
No? Okay.
yesterday was the last day for students.
Right.
So we're done.
Okay, yeah, I know. Yeah. Okay, so for next year, though, it's not going to be, a different teacher is going to be responsible for that? Okay. All right. So we're just going to kind of walk through what Classflow looks like. It's really an amazing software where you can push content to students' devices. And then my favorite feature is the polling. So you can ask kiddos questions and then their answers pop up on the panel. Lots of different things in here. You can create lessons. You can post things in the stream. You know, if I know you guys use Schoology. So it is kind of like almost a little mixture of an LMS, a learning management software program, but it's also a lesson delivery software too. And it's free. So you can create an account today and use it. So what I want you to do is I want you to open up a new browser and I want you to join my class. So just go to www.classflow.com/student. And then you're going to be prompted. You're going to see this little area right here because you're pretending to be a student. And it's going to ask you to type in a code. And this is the code that I have for my open class, which is 66YTF. And then just type in your name and then click join anyway. So basically what you're doing is you're joining my open class, which means anybody can join it. I could have rostered classes as well. And so once your students get rostered in, it's an easier process to join. They don't have to do this every time. But honestly, some teachers just like to have an open class. Great for like when you get observed by your principal. You can have your principal join your class and have fun with the lesson and get brownie points, right? Bonus points. All right, I'm just gonna exit here for a second. So I see I have 5 people joined in my class right here, right now. So I'm just gonna deliver this lesson to you. Okay, I press the deliver button. So now some content is gonna be coming your way. So it looks like I have 6 people connected now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You don't have to participate if you don't want to, but if you wanna join it, you can totally join it. So hopefully now you see kind of like, did you see a little guy that said, congratulations, you did it? Did you see that on your end? Okay, did I?
I was watching you.
Okay.
I see my picture
Yes,
changing, but that's like.
Okay, I'm curious. Okay, good, landscape, yeah. So yeah, you're gonna get like a pretty little landscape view here. But now, hopefully, it looks, now do you see the little kid?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, so basically what I love about Classflow, it has the ability to have what we call teacher cards and student cards. So what you see up here on the panel could be different than what is on the student's card. So I love that. So maybe you're watching a video, right? I put a video on my teacher card, and then on my student card, I have questions for them to answer. So just keep in mind that it doesn't have just one card. It's got a teacher card and a student card, and you can have the same thing on both if you want, but just kind of keep that in the back of your head there. So that's why I kind of throw that in there so you can see that option. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to the next one here. Classflow does work best on Chrome. So if you do kind of see it kind of acting funny, you know, switch over to Chrome if you're having any issues or what have you. But here's what I'm gonna do. So pretend that this is like, you know, the beginning of the year, maybe a lesson that you might do with your kids. So right now on this card, you don't see anything, right? Do you see, or do you see the same thing? Okay, so I did send it to you. I'm gonna ask you in a minute, what do you like to do in your spare time? So over here, we have a couple buttons, right? I can send stuff. If I didn't have this on the student card, you would have saw a landscape picture, just blank. And so if I wasn't quite ready for you to see what was on my panel, I can choose to send it to you or individual kids at that time. But since I, you know, want you to see the content right away, I just sent it over to you right away. And I'm going to start a poll now. So I'm going to ask you, you know, what do you like to do in your spare time? And I'm going to do a word seed poll. I have 8 different options of polling here. I can send my kids a creative poll, which I'll show you in a minute. Word seed, text, number, scale, multiple choice, true or false, or yes or no. So for this one, I'm going to select word seed. And now on your end, you should be able to answer this question. What do you like to do in your spare time? And if I want to block the answers that are coming in, I can just, I'll do that again. Tap on the card, but pretty soon here you're going to see like all my students' answers are going to pop up on the panel. And go ahead and answer a couple things because I'm sure you like to do more than one thing on your spare time. So go ahead and
All in one, or do you
no,
do
just keep
more?
submit multiple times. So press enter for one thing that you like to do. If you like to read, press submit. Maybe if you like to exercise, press submit. Maybe if you like to eat chocolate cake.
After you press submit, does it then, because mine submitted the first time, then it popped back with the same.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you have
so you
to.
can keep, you can keep, no, you can keep resubmitting. So yeah, go ahead and just, delete that comment and then.
Okay, that's
resubmit
what
again.
I was wondering.
Yeah. So see, I have a whole bunch of answers popping up here on the panel. What I love about the word seed poll versus the text poll is that the word seed allows students to answer lots of times. So it's great for brainstorming. If you want to limit them to one response, that's the text poll, which I'm going to show you in a minute. So I love how, you can see I have a whole bunch of answers here coming up. And what do you notice about one of the answers?
It's got the 4 on
It's got the 4 on it. Why do you think it has that?
it. That's how many people.
Yeah, 4 of you said that. So that could be a conversation starter with your kids and be like, hey, look at 4 people said this. Why do you think that's the way? Why do you think that's the case? And then if you want to see this little button right here, show names. You can toggle it on and you can say, hey, look, Leah, Betsy, Tracy, all,
Yeah,
And-
especially if we want to write something inappropriate.
Right, well, and you can delete, and you can delete their comments too. So let's say somebody said, something naughty. You can tap on it, and you can delete it right here. So yeah. Another thing that I love too is maybe I could, there's a couple things that are connected here. Spend time with family, play with grandkids. That's kind of a connection, right? So you can draw lines together and connect it. Maybe you want to color code them, like family things were green, just a great little visual for those kids if you want to. So they love how their answers pop up. They think oh, look at this one. Love that. Right? Binge watch. Okay, so now I'm done with this polling question. And remember, you're in my open class right now, and I don't have you rostered, right, your information, but this data still gets saved. And I can go back and look at these answers later. Okay? So I'm going to stop this polling question, and we'll go ahead and go to the next one. Let's have fun with this. Get kind of creative, if you will. But tell us a fact about yourself that most people don't know. So now I'm going to select a text box because I only want one response from you. So go ahead, kind of tell us a fact that we don't know about you. Now take a peek up here at the panel for just a second. Maybe you don't want the kids to see the answers coming in, right? I want to block it. So just tap on the card, pops it up so they can't see the answers coming in. It's a little trick. So go ahead, take a few minutes here and think about a juicy fact maybe about yourself. I don't know. Or if you don't want to get juicy, just whatever, just a random fact. I know it's the end of the school year, you really can't. I'm asking a lot, right?
I'm just sitting here thinking, my brain is like blank.
Maybe tell me how long you've been teaching. I don't know, something about your family. Are you the youngest of 5 or, who knows? And then I can always, as a teacher, take a peek and I can see, here I still have 5 kids remaining. So maybe I'm going to be like, okay, kids, and remember on your panel, Jessica's going to show you this too. You have a timer. So I could put up a timer up here, right? And I could kind of say, okay, kids, you have 30 seconds left to answer. So, yeah.
So that would be like, if you're looking at it from your end, would you have the panel turned off? And then you're looking at it like from the computer screen?
You're talking about the timer?
Or like for answers to start coming in?
Oh, well, I'm hardwired into the panel right now. Is that what you're saying? I'm sorry.
I guess that way if you want to just reveal all answers at once, or if you wanted to pop up for the kids to see as they're popping.
Yeah, total teacher preference.
Okay.
So like for multiple choice questions, I kind of keep that up because I don't want them changing their mind. You know what I mean?
Based on
their kids, what they see.
Yeah.
So like for text polls or brainstorming or word seed, I just keep it so the kids can see their answers coming up because they think it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it just depends on the question, on the answer, teacher preference, how you want to do that. So just know that feature's there though, where you can
So you
easily
just tap that.
just tap it
Okay.
and it hides the
There you
kids' answers.
There you
Yeah. Okay, so teaching for 26 years, a former triathlete. Ooh, that's fun. I was a PB cheerleader for football. I've sang God Bless America at a Dayton Dragons game. Oh, okay, that's awesome. I played Jingle Bells with my nose. I bought second base at Reds Braves game. Okay, so this is good stuff. I love this. I'm really curious about this though. So watch what I can do from here. I can tap on the student response, and there's these 3 little dots right here. And I can pull from here, from a student's response. And I can be like, okay, kids, who do you think can play Jingle Bells with their nose? And now you can go ahead and submit your response. And it's going to pop up. So go ahead. Who do you think in here? I know you might not know everybody's names, right? Maybe, maybe not. So the guy is the black shirt. But go ahead and so somebody thinks Ken, somebody thinks Christine. I'm curious who can play Jingle Bells with their nose, right? Jenna. So I have 4 responses left. Just put anybody who knows, right? Jenna, somebody else thinks it's Jenna.
It wasn't you, Jonah. What do you think I can
Okay, somebody thinks it's Betsy. Okay, so who can play Jingle Bells with their nose? Who is it?
It's just I.
Yay! That's an awesome skill. Okay, so
Only my daughter thinks.
How do you even know you can?
Right, we need to know.
Like, I
Yeah.
remember I was a kid and like I laughed weird and it like whistled and I was like, oh, I wonder if I could do that. And then I just did and so then it became my thing.
Oh, that's so cool. Okay, so I just love the ability that you can pull from another student's response, which is super powerful as well. Okay, so this is a big question, right? Everybody's dreaming of a vacation. I know you love this PD, right? But what would be the first thing that you would do when you went to a dream destination? So would you A, take a nap, B, grade papers, C, open a beverage, or D, explore? So now I'm going to select my polling feature again, but I'm going to do multiple choice. I can have 5 choices, but since I have 4 here, I'm going to select A, B, C, D, and then I'm going to select start poll. And now, since it's a multiple choice, I'm going to block that right from coming in and go ahead and respond. What would be the first thing that you would do? Hopefully it's not B. Hopefully you would not.
You've got some serious
I have had somebody select that once before. So.
intervention time.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see what you all said. So 4 of you said explore, 1 of you said open beverage. I'd probably do both at the same time, right? I should put that as an option. All right, so there are 2 people responding, but I'm just gonna go ahead and haven't responded yet. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the poll, go to the next one. And this is by far my favorite polling question, is the creative poll. So I want you to draw or insert a picture of yourself showing anywhere you'd rather be right now, even though this PD is amazing, right? So I'm gonna send you a creative poll. What happens is now on your end, you get all of these tools to be able to use. And actually you even get more. So you get all of these tools. You can use a text tool, a pen tool. You can fill it, use some shapes. You can even use that camera tool. There's a camera tool in there. And there's an arrow. So you can either upload an image or you can take a picture with your camera on your device. I think Chromebooks, right? You have a camera on there? Yes. Okay. So think of like, maybe you're having your kiddos, so take some time to kind of, yeah.
Can you screenshot and put it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, can you screenshot and save it to your, yes. So if you can screenshot it and save it to your Chromebook, then yeah, you can put it in there. Do Chromebooks have snipping tool?
Yeah.
Okay, that's like my favorite. So, but yeah, maybe find a picture off the internet, upload it right into here. But think of like your students have a device, right? Chromebooks. Do even the littles, kindergartners and first graders?
Pre-K has iPads.
iPads. Okay, perfect. So iPads or Chromebooks. You could maybe be doing an activity where you're having kids find angles, right angles. They could be walking around, take a picture of that right angle and upload it to your question that you have here. So play around, have some fun with that creative poll. And actually, no, let's have it. take a peek, so. Take a good couple minutes here. And if you have any questions, let me know. Oh, look at, somebody's using a Bitmoji. Love it.
How do you bring the picture in?
Okay, so do you have it saved on your computer? Okay, so click the camera. And then click that little arrow for upload. Oh, is that what we did? Okay, let's try that again. Yeah, just click on it, and then there's gonna be, I need to do that. Actually, click on the, so use your cursor to click on the image, and then there's this drag down a little bit. So click on it, again, sorry. And then there's a little, actually, try the delete button. There you go, yep. Okay, so try the camera again. And then, so see there's an arrow right there. So that, yes. And then it'll bring you to your computer where you have it saved. No, you're fine.
So if I saved it on my cell
So where did it go? Where's the image?
I already saved it, so it's copied to my clipboard, but I don't know where.
Okay, so down here, can you type search a snipping tool? And see if you can find it in there. See, usually when I do it, I just save it to my desktop after I snip. See one trick that I don't know which. Yeah, so after you snip it, you have to like right click and save as.
Because usually you can just control V.
So, okay, with Classflow, this is the one thing that I'll be totally honest with you about that I get frustrated with. I love shortcuts. Control C, Control V. They don't work in Classflow. You have to use the tools within Classflow. You can't do like, yeah, I know. So that's the one thing that kind of bugs me.
Sheila, we have questions.
Yes. Okay, so go ahead and right click on the picture. So I think like, no, I could take that. Okay, so I was looking at screen tool. So go ahead and in your, I do not know Chromebooks very well. Okay.
Then you're gonna have to save the
So-
image that you wanted.
So snipping tool.
So right click it. You have to use two fingers.
I'm sorry, I gotta get your name.
Make sure they're separated or sometimes it's.
Oh, Christine, sorry, can you come here for a second?
Yeah,
what's up?
image as.
So Chromebooks, I'm not as familiar with Chromebooks. Oh, so she wants to get, sorry, is this the one
So
right
like if I,
So yeah, this
can I snip it?
So
just click on it.
she wants this individual, like, how does it work with Chromebooks? Is it like this one? So we're gonna two-finger click, well, tap.
Okay.
And then you're going to
I think you
save
just
the
click over
image
to-
as. Okay, I just learned something new. Okay.
I think two.
Two-finger tap.
You're
welcome.
And then just like save it on your desktop.
Okay,
Just
gotcha.
I'm trying to.
Alright, how do I delete an object that's there?
Or are you on your phone?
Yes.
Yeah. It's not as easy on your phone.
I am.
But there is, you can tap on the image and there's a delete button on the menu. So, I know. On the yeah, on your phone, it's not as
Aha,
easy.
I got
Yes,
it.
Yep.
Huh.
iPad is easier because it has a bigger screen.
There we go.
All right, how we doing? Do we know how to kind of save an image to your?
My Chromebook.
No? Okay, so here we have some students' responses here. Take a peek at it. I'm assuming, is this Disney World?
Yes.
Okay, so somebody wants to be at Disney World, right? Somebody else wants to be on the beach. I love how you use those annotate tools. So even think of like, you could have a worksheet on a blank card, right? You could send your kids a worksheet and they could fill out that worksheet using those annotate tools. Okay, somebody uploaded a beach. That's where I would like to be. Right? Good.
They had to make sure you won it.
A Bitmoji, love it. Sleeping with a little mimosa, right? Okay, this is pretty cool. Where is this? Somewhere you said I saw it was Pittsburgh? Okay, very cool. Family there? No? Okay, awesome. And then here we go. Looks like somebody did a picture and those annotate tools. So, I mean, think, I sent you, sent you this card, right? So, of course, that is in the background of your response too. But think of like taking a snip of one of your worksheets, putting it on this card, sending that worksheet to your students, and now they have all those tools to be able to use to fill out that worksheet. So just pretty cool or you can just send them a blank card, right? Any questions on creative poll? No? All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop that poll. Sorry if you didn't get to submit it, and go to the next one. So now this is what we have built into Classflow. You can create activities for your students. So right now you just have a landscape picture, right? I purposely didn't send it to you right away because I didn't want you playing it without, I wanted to give instructions first. So now I want you to play this labeled diagram activity, and you have to label some famous beaches in the US with clicking it and dragging it, but make sure you're really kind of on spot because it doesn't like it. So now instead of doing the creative poll, I'm going to send this to you right now. So I can send this to you, and then you can play this activity on your own time, right? But as a teacher, you might want to know how long it takes your students to do this or how many they get wrong, right? Because as of right now, I'm not collecting any data from you. You're just playing that activity on your own. So I'm actually not going to send that content to you. Well, I did already, but I want to see how long it takes you to do this activity, and I want to see if you get any wrong. So I'm going to send it to you again. So, all right, some of you doing the activity right now? Sorry, it's going to stop it. And I'm going to send it to you as a creative poll. So now when you submit your answers, I have that data. Okay? Because if I just deliver it to you, am I getting any data from it? No, because nothing's popping up on here. So if I send it as a creative poll or a poll, I'm going to get that data, and I want to see how you did on that activity. So go ahead, take a minute here, draw the lines together to the famous beaches. This is a labeled diagram, so maybe you're going to send them a picture of a cell, and they label, parts of a cell, parts of a plant. It's touchy though. You have to be like perfectly on that zero or that dot. Super hard to do on your phone, yeah. iPad, like I said, iPad is better. So I already have somebody who submitted it. Look at that. Took them 27 seconds. They got one wrong. They probably just didn't have it lined up perfectly. 5 out of 5. So there's 10 different types of activities. There's flashcards, there's label diagrams, Venn diagrams, word searches, a whole bunch of good stuff. Timelines, you name it. All right, so see now, that's why I kind of like to use that creative poll, because then I get that data. All right, I'm going to go ahead, stop. Sorry if you're on your phone. And get to the next one here. So here again is another example of maybe I want to send something to my students at a different time. So maybe I want to have them, this is like in a remote hybrid situation. If they were at home, I could send them this video, or we can watch this video here right now together, right? Play it, make it bigger. So I have the ability within Classflow to be able to embed videos as well. Play them right here from the panel. It removes the ads from YouTube, which is kind of nice, so I don't have to worry about the ads. And then we can watch this video, or I could send this video to my students' devices, or I could have questions for my students to answer for this too. So I just love how Classflow also has the ability for me to embed resources from YouTube or links and other things like that as well. All right, next thing that I want to kind of show you is Classflow has a whole bunch of built-in tools that teachers might use, very similar to like Smart Notebook or Active Inspire. So if you are a teacher who does a lot with CVC words, we have like random CVC builders or base 10s, right? Where I can click and drag. So if I could send this to you, I'll send this to you, all of you right now. And then you can kind of play around with some of these tools. Like there's a spinner, base 10s. It's not wanting to click and drag for me on right here, but you should be able to click and drag those base 10s around. But these are just built-in resources that we have right within Classflow. All right, any questions so far? All right, and we'll get into some of those resources. I'll show you where those are. Okay, now on this card, I have a little getting started guide here for you. So go ahead and click on that. And it's going to bring you to a PDF. And if you want to save it, it kind of walks you through how to get started with Classflow, how to create an account, you know, what are classes, all of that kind of good stuff. So it's just an extra resource for you to use to go back to if you're curious about certain things on Classflow.
This will be included on Brooke's Schoology page as well.
Yep, and I'll even,
from there.
great, yep. And I'll give you like a whole bunch of links to videos and all that good stuff as well. Okay, so now what I want you to do is close out of that browser that you and I were just together on and open up a new one and go to classflow.com. It doesn't like you to be a student and a teacher at the same time. So now we're going to create a Classflow account. So if you want to, go ahead and open up a whole new browser. And then let's kind of get started here. So yeah, classflow.com. And what you're going to see is you're going to see this little area. And up on top, actually, let me go to, open up another Google browser. Let me just show you from, where is my keyboard set? So when you go to Classflow, you're going to see this. So what you want to do, instead of clicking create an account, you're going to click login. So the reason why I tell teachers to do this is because when you click login, it's going to prompt you to, oh, see, and I'm already logged in, but you're going to see where you can log in with your Google credentials because you all have a Google account, right? So then you can click that and it's just one less password for you to remember. So once you get, click login with Google, go through the prompts, type in your email, your password. You might have to say allow or agree or something like that. And then once you've done that, you're going to see this page. And then let me know when you're ready, and I'll kind of do a... Yeah, you got to scroll down and find sign in. Click login as a teacher, and then you'll scroll and find Google. Yes. Let me put my other card up and show the steps. I'm on the wrong screen. There we go. Change that picture. Good. Awesome. All right. I'll get her caught up when she comes back. So it looks like everybody's on the landing page. Like we're, I have the little bubbles. Okay. All right. So basically, once you get logged in, you create an account, you're gonna see kind of like what we call our landing page. There's gonna be 5 bubbles here. This is where you can start an instant whiteboard. You can do a quick poll. So you know how I made my cards kind of fancy, right, for you today? You don't need to. You could literally just click start a quick poll and send your kids a question, you know, and then have fun. So for example, let's say if I want to start a quick poll, I'm just going to have 2 kids are connected right now, but I could change my class, like if I have first hour, you know, all that kind of good stuff, and just send my kids a really quick question if I want to. Create lesson is another one. Let me go back on this one here. Back. Create lesson is going to be, I'm going to show you that later, but that's basically like the lesson builder. It's going to give you a blank card, right? You can add in text boxes, you know, all of that kind of good stuff. Activity. So if I tap on the activity bubble, you're going to see that I can create all different types of activities. So the one that you did with me earlier was the labeled diagram. You could do flashcards, you could do matching, all different kinds of things. Super easy and intuitive on how to make. I'm not going to spend time on that today, but just know that you do have that option as well. And then create assessment or quiz. I'll be honest with you, I rarely train teachers on how to do that because you already have your own assessments probably set up. But there is, and I know Schoology, right, has an assessment builder. So it's very similar to that. You can self-grade, you know, things like that. But if you're familiar with Schoology, keep using Schoology. So now what I want to do is kind of just show you these 4 buttons up here. So the home button is going to where you're going to see the 5 bubbles, the landing page. The classes tab, this is where you can create new classes. Okay, so again, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that in this class. I'm going to talk about it in the beginner's class, but I could create, you see I have 3 classes right here. I could create a new class or I can import from Google Classroom as well. So keep that in mind for the fall if that's something you want to do. A lot of teachers, like I said, just run it from an open class, you know, if they don't want to have their kids get rostered. The next button over here is my resources tab. This is essentially kind of like your Google Drive for Classflow. So right here is where all of the lessons and folders that I've ever created in Classflow sit. So right now you probably don't have anything in yours. Okay, I have folders, I have, you know, a whole bunch of other good things and stuff like that. See, pay attention to this one right here. See this marketplace folder? You're going to get a marketplace folder in just a minute. I'm going to show you how to do that. But essentially, this is kind of like where I can, you know, preview this lesson, go to my training folder, I can preview it here, preview my lesson here. So it's just really kind of like, where are all my lessons at? They sit right here. Right here in the marketplace, this is where I want you guys to be now. So go ahead and tap on the marketplace. This is basically an area where teachers can go to find already ready-made lessons for you to be able to use. So let's say you're searching for a lesson on common nouns. So I'm going to go ahead and type in common nouns. And I'm going to browse the marketplace. I have the ability to refine my search over here. But honestly, I tell teachers not to really refine their search because the teacher who uploaded this into Marketplace, the odds of them tagging that like first grade pre-K might be slim. And then you might miss out on good stuff, right? So I just typically just type in, you know, what subject I'm searching for, and then I'll go through and I'll try to see, you know, okay, what looks good? Okay, this looks like a good one. So I'm going to tap on it, and I have the ability to kind of preview my cards to see if I even want to download it first. So I'm just kind of previewing it. Okay, so this looks like a good lesson. I think I want to have this lesson. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click Add to my resources. So once I click Add to my resources, depending on how big the file is, it might take some time to get into your resources area that I showed you earlier. I'll show you again. But once it's done, it's going to have a little check mark, and it's going to say successfully brought to your, I can't remember exactly what it says, but successfully downloaded or something like that. So it's really thinking here. It might be a big file. It's probably got a video in it. So it's gonna download. Okay, here we go, successfully added. So I can access that file now and edit it and do as I'd like. Two different ways how I can find it. I can either tap on this and it brings me to that area, to my Marketplace folder, but I actually kind of like to show teachers this way. So if I tap on resources now, that is in my, it creates a Marketplace folder for me. It already created it creates a, let me go back to it, creates a Marketplace folder for me. It automatically creates a Marketplace folder. So anytime you download something from the Marketplace, it's gonna go in here. You can move it if you want to. But now I'm gonna go ahead and look at that lesson. And so as you can see here, I have common nouns. I actually downloaded it twice. I downloaded a Grand Canyon National Park lesson. Do you see a difference between the two lessons? Yeah, one's locked. So what that means is the teacher who put it into the Marketplace doesn't want you editing his or her lesson. So you can't edit it, unfortunately. But this one, I can edit and change things if I want to. So I'm gonna look at the common nouns lesson now and see this little button right here where it says edit lesson. I have the ability now to click edit and then I can change things if I want to. So now this is kind of like the lesson builder area. When I click edit lesson, it takes me to the lesson building area. I can change the title, right, if I want to, give it a different name. I can put some notes in my card to kind of keep me on track, right? I can scroll up and down between my cards. So these are cards, right? Remember how I was telling you earlier about teacher cards versus student cards? So let's take a peek right here. We have the ability to show both cards right here with this little 4 dots. So here's the teacher card. She doesn't have anything on the student card here, but she does here, right? So let's go to this card. I can preview it, right? You don't have to deliver these lessons to your kids. You don't have to send content to them every time if you don't want to. If I just want to stand up at the panel and deliver my lesson, I can just press play, right, or preview. And then so let's look at some common nouns. They've got some built-in little fun features to this lesson. So that's kind of Classflow in a nutshell. The polling feature, you got to kind of see from the eyes of what it looks like from a student's perspective. And then you got some time to see what it looks like from a teacher's perspective. You have an account now. So go ahead if you want to, if you're feeling really kind of up for it, browse Marketplace, find some lessons if you want. And if you're kind of like, you know what, I love Marketplace, but maybe I want to try importing some of my own resources, I have some directions right here for you. Feel free to upload your own existing content by going to resources, new, and then file upload, and I'll walk around and help you. Any questions?
The great thing about Classflow over Active Inspire is that you can do it all from the panel.
Yep.
For Active Inspire, you have to have your laptop.
Yep.
Everything I'm doing from Classflow, I do right on the panel.
It's all web-based.
Yep.
Where Active Inspire is so robust that it has to be local to a Windows or a Mac device. Yeah.
So that means we need to share our screen.
For Active Inspire,
Active Inspire.
yeah, you either need to be hardwired in or you need to share your screen, share your teacher device to the panel for Active Inspire. And what's cool is you can also import, like if you're like, okay, maybe I don't even want to think about Active Inspire now that I've saw Classflow, maybe I just want to import my smart files into Classflow.
And I think that for what we were doing earlier, Leah, what we were doing earlier, I think that you could because you don't use those bells and whistles per se,
Yeah.
it should all work in Classflow just fine.
Right.
And you could do it all right from the panel.
Right, and what I would suggest you do if you don't have interactivity in your smart notebook files, save them as a PDF, upload them in here as a PDF, and it's a perfect smooth transition.
Well, she does, she does
Yeah,
like
like
the
it's
peekaboo.
shaded and you remove answer
Oh, okay.
boxes,
Yeah.
like I
Yeah.
do have that.
Right.
It's just not, it's not like overly interactive.
Right.
And some of the basic stuff does work with Classflow, because Christine and I have done it.
Some actions do transfer over.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think for no more than what she's using it for, I think hers probably would.
Right.
We'll try it though, Leah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know, I love Classflow, I love Active Inspire too, because it's definitely more robust software. But I love that I don't have to be connected to the panel with Classflow. And then I don't have to press freeze, and I don't have to worry about emails popping up or, like that kind of stuff.
I also really like on Classflow, which you could do with Active Inspire too, but I like the activities areas in Classflow.
Yeah.
What I really think is cool about that is you can build an activity for your kids and then choose, like, let's say you do a matching game, and then you could choose one of the other activities to do with that, all that content, without rebuilding the content.
It just switches it.
It just switches it for you.
Yeah.
So you can differentiate between your kids.
If you want one kid to do a word search, one kid to do flashcards, it's
And you only
some
do
will.
it once.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love that.
it is pretty cool. You make one activity once, and then it transfers over to a different type of activity.
Yeah.
For the most part, some won't. Like, think a timeline,
Yeah, well, you can't do the same thing with the timeline.
Exactly.
Timeline would be a timeline.
Right.
I just like that you can, especially for the younger kids, you can do a word search, or you can do a crossword puzzle. or matching. Flashcards.
Matching and flashcards, yeah. All right, are we overwhelmed? A lot to take in at the end of the school year. What are you thinking? How could you use this in your classroom? Do you have any ideas right now coming to your head?
Well, when you're doing graphing, it'll be really convenient, especially if you can pull up, like you pulled up the timer, you can pull up
Yeah.
graphs that you
Right.
could fill in from the data you collect from the students.
Right. Yeah. And two, you can send your kids like rulers on here. You can send them. I mean, it's got a lot of cool built-in
Download it to
tools.
both places so you have it.
Yeah, I love how you can push content to students' devices.
So how would we download the smart notebook software to this instead of Active Inspire?
Okay, sure. All right, you want me to walk you through it?
Yes,
Okay, so.
because mine are probably very similar to Leah's, and my kids aren't coming to the board and doing stuff, it's just
Right.
me making.
Sure. So I'm just gonna say don't save for this one. So I'm gonna exit the builder here, because this is my lesson. So this is my lesson here. I'm gonna exit the builder, and it's gonna take me back to my resources area. So if you wanna upload a smart file or a Active Inspire file or a PDF or something like that, I would click New. And then this is where I can either start from scratch, right? Or I don't wanna start from scratch. So I want to upload my own file. So I'm going to click File, Upload, and it's going to prompt me to my desktop, right? Where my files are. So now I want to upload, let's do a, let's just try a smart one. See what happens on that. I'm going to upload a smart file. And what it's doing now, it's basically saying, okay, are you okay with converting that smart notebook file to a Classflow lesson? And yeah, that's what you're trying to do. So you're gonna say continue. And again, it might take some time, but once it's done converting, maybe I should have did a smaller one. I don't know, it might take some time here. But once it's done, it's gonna pop up here in my Google Drive area. And then I'll have the ability then, it's gonna be a green little icon like this that tells me that it's a Classflow lesson format. And then I can edit that lesson from there. So it's like, do you want Classflow or do you want Active Inspire? You could do it both ways. And it's teacher preference totally on you. And so again, it must have been a big one here. I'm impatient. So let me just do a PDF so you can see how easy it is to do a PDF. So select a PDF. Oh, there it goes. Now it's up there. And it's gonna continue. And then now it's going to, what I love about PDFs, and I'll show you in a minute. So here's that lesson that I converted before. So what it does with the PDF, it brings the PDF in and it brings in the Classflow lesson. So here's that PDF. I can edit this lesson now. And let's say that looks like a hot mess, but I can return it, right? Turn it, rotate it. It's better to do it from there. But then now I could, here's my PDF. I can make it stretch out. That looks terrible, but if it was arranged the other way, it would be fine. So yeah, it brings it in here. Let me show you that lesson, that Smart Notebook file lesson that I did here. So here's that introduction to fractions. Edit this lesson. And then here, it kind of brings it over. So like these functions right here that were in Smart aren't going to work on Classflow.
Okay.
But here's like this one. I can preview it. So this still works, right? I can still drag the objects, but some of this is not going to work. It's going to take me to who knows. I don't know why it took me there. But so I still have some things in here, and I can just simply, I did it again. But certain things, after they transfer over, I would just click on it and delete it so it doesn't confuse the kids. But yeah, so this is my Smart file. So you can see how, don't laugh at me. No, yeah, actually I did have it right. Right? So it just puts it basically on a card, right? It puts that, transfers it over and puts it on a card.
So, I'm thinking about some of my lessons.
Yeah.
If I put it over here, like I like to use the window shade so I can only show them a little bit at a time.
Uh-huh.
Like,
There's a revealer.
Something in there that I can.
Sure is.
If it didn't come over, I can add that.
Yeah.
Or,
Well, there's tools in here, and there's
Okay.
here's the rulers, the protractors. There's spotlights, so you can spotlight, or you can do revealers. So maybe you only want certain things to show up.
Yeah, like that.
Yep.
Or sometimes I'll put, if I question, but then the answer, I'll put a box over the answer that's colored red maybe, and then I
Right.
click it and it goes away,
Yeah.
so it will do all that.
Yeah, so you have shape tools right here. You can add in some shapes to cover up those areas. Yep. So this is kind of like Active Inspire, but web-based, and it's not, I'm not gonna lie, it's not as robust as Active Inspire is, some of the features, but honestly, what the teachers use it for, typically those hot, heavy hitter features are in Classflow as well. Yep. Yeah, there's so much more too, and for the beginner session, I'm gonna talk about all those lesson building things. Yep. Great questions. Anything else?
What's the benefit then of the Active Inspire over this? I know you said it's robust, but
So like math teachers love Active Inspire because it has like equations and a whole bunch more like grid paper and just more features, if you will, because it does have to sit on a Windows or a Mac device. But I mean, it's our first software that we developed long time ago. So nothing was web-based.
right.
We needed to come up with a web-based curriculum, so we came up with Classflow.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yeah.
Okay.